Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 13 of... I was about to say what happens on Court Stays on Court.
Wrong show.
Wrong show. This is episode 13 of Posties in DC. Guys, we're 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
I'm here with my co-host, Claire, as usual, but we also have our special guest, our cohort member, Emily Hanna. Emily, how are you doing?
Ooh. Hi. I'm good.
Good. We're glad to have you.
Yeah. Okay. Then we'll just jump right into it. I mean, Emily's here, just like Ian was and Zach was and Olivia was, and they kind of told us about their internship, and then we talked about a theme. So today's episode theme is kind of being under 21 in DC, because it's a thing that we're here doing, and we do have 2 people in the program that are over 21, but the other 4 of us are not. So that's a whole experience unto its own. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're also going to talk about Emily's internship and everything she's experienced since we've been here. But first, we start with highs and lows. So Emily, as our guest,
start us off.
Would you like to start off with what was your high of this week?
My high would be I submitted my first batch of photos to Alto Press, which is a photo agency I signed with. They're based in Germany. They're an international photo agency, which is so fun. So that's probably my high.
How does like a photo agency like that work? Because I don't even know.
So basically, it's just like any other photo agency. Like Getty is a photo agency, for example. So you submit. They have like a special software that they use since it's international, and you submit your photos via that, and then you have to do like full captioning, and then they just take the photos that you sold to them and they sell them out to other organizations.
Okay. That's kind of cool. I did not know that. Hannah,
cool.
Your high?
My high was that, also still undisclosed because we still have 3 more weeks before I can announce it.
Right.
I met the senator that I'm working for, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people assume that interns have a lot of interaction with the congresswoman or congressman that they are working for, or the senator that they're working for. No, that's
Ian
not
is
what
a
happens.
special case, I feel like.
Ian's a special case.
Ian went into some details last week, and he got a special. Him and Marcy have a relationship, but
they have a horrible, yeah.
The House and the Senate are 2 completely different eras, and even in the House, there's a lot of people that like don't really get to interact with their senators or like get to interact with their interns.
Yeah.
Simply because they're so busy, and this is a really weird time to be here, because when I started our internship, the Senate just came back into session and then was in session for a couple weeks and then went out, and then the midterms happened, and then now we're back in session technically.
Yeah.
So it's a weird like flip-flop, and like, but when the time I met them, it was also like it was an experience, because it wasn't like a sit down, hi, my name is Hannah Campbell, this is my life story. It's like, hi, how are you?
Hi.
But it was a great experience.
That's fun.
They were super cool. They were super busy. I can like disclose that I met their dog as well.
Oh,
that was dope. We're the first
fun.
intern class in history to have our intern photo with the senator's dog.
That slays.
So that's a kind of slay. I will be putting that on my resume.
First intern class with the
Yes.
dog, for sure. Fair enough.
Claire, how was your week? What was your high?
My high was, like I said on the last week, I'm excited because I get to like make some connections before I leave. So this week I visited the Nexstar Bureau. So Nexstar is, the best way to describe it is, it's a company that owns a bunch of other television stations. It's a media organization that owns a bunch of others. So Nexstar, Tegna, Gray, Sinclair, you've heard of one of them probably along the way.
Right.
And Nexstar is the one that owns NBC4 in Columbus. It is a station in Columbus, Ohio, and I worked for them over the summer a little bit. And when I reached back out to them, they were like, well, you could connect to our DC bureau. So they connected me with somebody in the Nexstar bureau. And I feel like the coolest part was, first I got to see like them in the studios and whatever, and just like the office space, which was kind of cool. Which is the same place that News Nation is, which News Nation is kind of a startup at this point, and it's kind of building. It's a smaller broadcast organization, but it's by Nexstar. It's like their show, it's their baby, and it's going to be like a 24 news hour thing. And they don't really technically have internships right now, but they said like check back in the summer, and we'll see if we have anything. So that was kind of cool, because even though like they didn't necessarily have something, it was cool because I got to see things, and there was a possibility for an internship. And then also the guy I met with reviewed my reel, which made me realize, oh yeah, I need to work on my reel, but I haven't really done much with that since I got here. But I don't know, it was a cool experience. And now we have to go to Lowe's.
Emily, your low for the week?
What was your low, Emily?
My low is just being sick. If you couldn't tell, I'm like
under the weather.
I'm under the weather, and it's probably because the weather's changing.
Yeah.
The weather changed in DC so fast. It was like 70 degrees.
It got cold in October, and then it got warm.
Really hot.
It got really warm again, and now it's like freezing.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a day shift.
Yeah, it keeps switching drastically, so I feel you.
Yeah. So that's probably been my low.
Low is being sick. Fair enough.
Just being sick.
Your low? My low is that I am going to Spain in 3 weeks, which that's not a low in itself.
Yeah, that's a high.
The low is getting ready for Spain in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's like stressful as heck.
Because I am flying directly out of DC to Spain.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a little stressful. So there's just a lot that I have to complete before I go to Spain. Because I won't have time to do anything. So it's just, my low is being stressed before Spain.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good reward.
I'm flying out in a few days for Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh.
I just got back
from
flying.
much. Yeah, no, literally.
So bad. The airport's so stressful.
Yeah, because you just traveled to see your girlfriend, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, flying is stressful, and I don't like flying, and I have to do it alone this time.
Right.
Anyway, that's not even my low.
What's your low, Claire?
My low is that the political unit is kind of winding down right now. So basically, elections happened. That is our specific area of CNN and the political unit is elections. That is like literally our whole purpose is to focus on elections and candidates and everything having to do. We're kind of like statisticians where we're always looking at numbers and gathering information, and that's kind of what we do. And so the elections are over. Like, they called the House. So Thursday, they were like, you can work from home. And what was I doing working from home? Oh, I was focusing on the 2024 election. Like, that is their that's their whole focus. So there's not much else for them to do except, look towards, what's happening and the next election cycle. So I guess I'm kind of sad because I'm like, oh, there's not as much for me to do. But that also kind of means that I get to do other cool things, like shadow some CNN shows. So, like, how much can I complain?
Right.
How much can I complain? Like,
Yeah,
that's still going to be really cool. So, yeah, that's my low. But let's get into some more cool stuff. Let's talk about Emily and her internship and everything.
For those who don't know, Emily is a photojournalism major.
She is one of the few that make it to this program. Because
Very
again,
few.
it seems like a lot of journalism and news and info and majors make it here, and not as many of the other ones, but you get the unique perspective of coming here as a photo J major. So why did you, as a photo J major, decide to join the program and come to DC?
So first of all, BizCom students, underrepresented at the Scripps in DC program. I would definitely recommend anyone that could apply should apply. But I came as a photo J major because my interest has always been in like conflict photography. Before joining college.
Joining college.
Attending
college.
Attending.
Going to college.
Before going to college, I wanted to be a war photographer for, like, that was kind of like my plan. I ended up getting like a scholarship to OU, so I decided to, go to OU. And then from there, there's not much like political conflict, I guess, in Athens, Ohio, as there is in DC.
Right.
So so that was like the biggest factor, was just to like, not even for internships, but I guess just to like kind of be in the heart of it all, like the experience.
Right.
Get that political experience. So where are you interning? How'd you get into it? Do you like it? Talk all about that.
Okay, I'm interning at C-SPAN. Yay!
Yeah.
So I work in the multimedia department. So I work on the Washington Journal every day. I also do like some graphics, but it's more like editing, writing scripts, which is something I never did. Back at OU, it was all like complete. I did editing, but I've never done like script writing, so that was all new. But recently they've been, well, not recently, but I guess like when I joined C-SPAN, I started like telling them about my photography experience, and I would do like a lot of freelance projects on the weekends and post it on LinkedIn, and they would just like see it. And so they've kind of been using me more now for still photography as well, which is like super cool. It's cool to see like your photos.
It's like what you want to be doing, and they're letting you have that outlet to do it.
Yeah. So that's like my main internship, and then I do I recently signed with Alto Press, so I do a lot of work for them as well on the time that I'm not working at C-SPAN. So yeah.
Fair enough.
That's really cool. So explain a little bit why you chose like to do C-SPAN, because it's not your typical internship. It's not like a typical PhotoJ internship. Mm-hmm. So why did you want to do it?
I came to DC like wanting to do strictly photo. Mm-hmm. That's like I didn't want to do anything else. I will say that because of COVID, there weren't as many PhotoJ internships as I guess there usually would. Yeah. And it's still it's still a thing. It's still hard to find like photojournalism because a lot of people like don't want to have like someone be by their side 24/7 whenever they go out shooting. Mm-hmm. So we toured C-SPAN, which was super fun. And then I built a connection with one of the people there, and we just got in touch, and I had an interview, and I ended up getting the job, which was super cool. They did like a portfolio review. But yeah, I guess I chose it because I had never worked at like a news organization before, ever in my entire life. And I was like, oh, this will be cool. Like it's going to be like midterm elections. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Turned out to be a whole experience. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's quite sick.
And speaking of building connections, you in particular, I feel like have been networking like probably crazy. The most.
You just said you were like, oh, I've done like freelance stuff on the weekends. Oh, you've done freelance stuff on the weekend.
You've done way more than freelance stuff. Yeah. So, do we want to talk about maybe like the biggest connection that you've made out here?
I think you should talk about the big one, the big opportunity you got.
So
tell us how you met this person and who this person is.
Okay, so anyone that is in photojournalism or just looks at photos,
sure,
that's like political, probably knows of Doug Mills. Mm-hmm. He's the greatest photographer of all time. He also works for New York Times and does some other stuff as well. But I met Doug's wife, who works there. She works as a producer, I believe. And yeah, she just got me in contact with Doug. We sent emails, and then we got coffee together, and we just started talking about like what he's done. And I've always looked up to him since I was little, and he's one of the reasons I went into photojournalism, because I really admire his work throughout the presidencies that he's covered. And yeah.
So Doug Mills like works for the New York Times. Like he's part of the like pool for it, and he's just like worked through a lot of administration, so he's like a lot of access and stuff. Is that right?
He's a staff photographer at the New York Times.
Okay.
And then he works in the pool of the White House.
Okay, cool. Right. Cool. So then you got to shadow him. Like you got to go with him. How many have you done this once or multiple times? I can't remember.
I've done it a few times.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like we've built a friendship. It's really cool to have someone like that in your phone, just to like be able to text whenever. So he's definitely helped me a lot. Just not like work related, even just a lot of like personal and helping me navigate a big city when I'm from a very small city, and just like introducing me to some super cool people.
Sure.
So,
and one super cool person in particular that you might want to mention.
Somebody really, really cool. So I think you need to talk about the first time you went along with him.
Yeah, I met the president.
She met the president.
I did meet the president. That was crazy. That was crazy. I was covering his talk on junk fees, which, there's that.
Cool.
And then, which was really cool because I got to meet the First Lady's photographer.
Oh, cool.
Which was awesome. And then I got to be on the ground with all the other photographers. And I was literally like maybe 6 feet away from him, the president. And then, after that, I just was introduced to him, and I met him and shook his hand. And he's a lot shorter than you might think. He's like, I looked it up, and it said that he's 6 feet.
6 foot.
It said he's 6 foot. Google. He's not 6 foot.
I does not believe it.
Listen. I'm 5'6", and I think he was he was a couple inch. He was taller than me, but he wasn't 6 foot.
How tall? You're 6.
I'm 5'6".
She's 6 foot.
I'm 5'11". No,
She's 5'11". No, you're okay.
no,
Okay,
it was
sure.
Yeah.
Sure, he's short.
I'm just. You want to meet him? Okay.
Yeah, let me in. Let me see.
I was like, that's a bad thing.
Let me in.
No, he was very nice. He was
Okay.
very, very nice.
That's so
good
that
experience.
yeah. So last episode we were teasing it. We were like, we haven't met that many cool people, but she might have met the person. Is there anybody else that you've just met that's just been super cool since you've been here through connections or?
Corinne Jean Pierre. I probably butchered her name, but she's the White House press secretary.
Cool.
Met her. She's an amazing woman. I've met a lot of photographers just in the White House press pool, just by being in the press room. A lot of them work for Getty and New York Times, AP, a lot of just big agencies. So that was really cool. And then just, I feel like just in passing.
Yeah. Cool. Sick.
That's
She's
really
a photo
cool.
J, and she's in DC. Yeah.
It's life.
So kind of transitioning on to our main topic of this episode, talking about being under 21 in DC. Now, the three of us plus Ian are under 21. So we're definitely having...
Well, fun fact.
She's under 21 until
today.
Until today. She's now 21. But for the majority of our time here.
Yeah,
you were under 21.
I was under 21, yeah.
So we were definitely having a different experience than the other two people in our cohort who are over 21. So can you talk a little bit about, like, we know that this is, like, a young professional city.
Yeah. Everybody here is, like, young.
Starting their career, like, on their way, making their mark. What is it? Like, first off, are you the youngest or, like, some of the youngest people in C-SPAN's offices and working?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, a lot of the professionals that are working at C-SPAN are out of college. Some freshly out of college, but out of college. Me and the other interns a lot of us are under 21.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely just a thing that, like, this is young people's city. There's a lot of people that are young, but there's also, like, this, like, want for you to be 21 at least, because it's, like, the amount of drinks I've been asked to.
Right.
And I have to be like, awkward. So here's the thing. I'm not really 21 yet, so I can't really do that. And I'm sure you've had things like that happen to you, or somebody's invited you for drinks or something, and you have to be like, here's the thing.
The awkward head scratch.
The awkward head scratch of, like, yeah, I'm not. And then also when we're with Zach and Olivia, sometimes they offer them drinks, and then they're like, are you guys? And then we have to be like, yeah, so we're not we're not 21.
So how has that experience been like not being able to go out and, you know, not having those experiences with other young professionals?
I mean, I will say that, like, I wouldn't say that I don't get the experiences with the young professionals, because I do. It's just different when you are under 21 and there's, like, gatherings or parties that, you know, like, your work is, like, all your coworkers are going to, or just, like, people in your building are going to and you can't attend. Like, it's an unfortunate circumstance. I mean, I get it, but it's nothing you can't like do anything about it.
Yeah.
But
right.
it sucks.
In my office, they have Whiskey Wednesdays that I cannot attend.
Right.
Really?
The first day they said, "Are you 21?" and I said no, and they said, "You can't come to Whiskey Wednesdays."
Oh my God, not Whiskey Wednesday.
No. No, yeah, it's just things like that where it's like I didn't expect to have, like, FOMO over not being 21. I mean, like,
I have extreme FOMO not
yeah,
being 21.
yeah. I feel like nobody in Athens, like, ostracizes you for not being 21.
Yeah, because half the town's under 21.
Half the town's under 21. They may, you know, but, like, here it's, like, a thing. And I know that, like, didn't you say that with your office, they were like, if you get caught doing something?
Yeah, they were basically, my office, also keep in mind I work for the whole U.S. Senate.
Yeah.
But the first day, they were like sitting down and they're doing your orientation, and they're like, do not use a fake ID in Washington, D.C. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. And if you do it, you're probably going to get arrested. And if you get arrested, we're your second call. Like, we need to know.
Yeah.
And everyone was, like, kind of looking at each other at first when they said don't use a fake ID. And then I just had this sneaking suspicion, like, it happened, and that's why they're talking about it.
Somebody messed up.
But they truly made an effort to be like, do not use it. Do not even try it. And if you do it, you're stupid. And if you get arrested, you're stupid. But you need to call us and tell us that you're stupid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You would think that the police of D.C. have more important things to worry about than under 21-years-olds with fake IDs.
What else do they have to worry about?
Homelessness.
Kidnappings, probably stuff like that would be my guess. Maybe insurrectionists. I don't know. Maybe not.
That didn't happen, Claire.
Guys. Where were you, James? I'm so sick of that joke. Do you know how many times? Anyway, yeah, so being under 21, it's not the best. You make it work because there's a lot of events here that you can still do even though you're under 21. And there are some places that have above 18 and you have to, like, sometimes you have to pay a cover, but it depends. We've gone to events where we just got X's on our hands, and we just did it.
And it was still a vibe.
It was still a vibe because that's what we decided to do for Emily's B-Day. What did we do for your B-Day?
Went to a drag show.
Ooh.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an experience. It was nice to do something that was like very much just let loose.
Yeah.
But that's nice. And you didn't need, like, there wasn't a need to drink. Like, even if I could have, I didn't think I would have.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it, like, was needed.
Yeah, and it's also, like, do you know how much money we save by not drinking here? I'm pretty sure a drink here costs
so expensive.
$15.
I would say a glass of wine, just from what I've seen off of, like, a restaurant menu, is $10 for a glass of wine minimum.
Yeah.
And then for a cocktail, it's maybe, like, $14, $15 minimum.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I know that's just because we're in D.C. I'm sure once you even get into Maryland and Virginia a little bit, it's significantly better. But...
Right.
You know, it really makes me miss, like, the OU prices of food and anything else because you see those price tags and you're like, well, I am at least, if I'm not eating out in D.C., I'm saving money.
You're saving money.
So we've saved money by being not 21.
Yeah, no, hey. Being, like, turning 21 today, I'm like, I'm going to check my bank account, like, tonight.
Right.
Check it in, like, a couple weeks.
Right.
We'll see
where that's been spent.
See what happens. I think you're planning. So Emily does not have her new license yet because she has to, like, what is the rule? You have to be 30 days before?
It's 31 days before you turn 21. You can get your license renewed 31 days before you turn 21, which is not the same. It's only for, like, when you turn 21 because it's, like,
the 21. Whole new license and picture and yeah.
And unfortunately, you
haven't gone home.
I haven't gone home at all, so I haven't got it renewed. But
so the
plan is what I'm gonna do.
You show them. So the weird thing is you have there's like the old Ohio IDs and the new Ohio IDs. So on mine, if I were to go to like a bar when I turn 21, I can be like, see that expiration date on my thing? It has literally expired, and you can see that. You have to be like, can you calculate in your head the date? You're gonna have to show them your birthday and be like, just trust.
Just trust me. No, I it's really like unfortunate because I'm like, yeah, I'm 21 in DC, but I'm like,
oh, I don't have the actual license.
Don't have the actual license.
I have to figure that one out, but I mean, you're here now.
I'm here now. Yeah.
You're here now. Another weird thing was I forgot to mention this, but Olivia, this is because it's Olivia, but Olivia, when you work at DC Frey, her magazine that she works for, you have to be 21 to work there.
To go to all the events.
Because they have a lot of events they cover that you have to be over 21 to be able to cover. So she has to be 21.
I think that's crazy. Interesting. You know, is another thing that I remember us in the classes, and we were talking about, like, interview etiquette, or, like, just, like, interacting with, like, colleagues over, like, lunch or dinner. And there was one woman in particular that was like, I don't drink, like, with colleagues or, like, on a job interview, because that's just, like, not the vibe. Like, that's just not, like, the professional vibe that I want to put out there in the world.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think you're like, when you're 21, like, do you think that's going to be the vibe?
I think it'd be bad if they got...
Is that something you would do?
I don't think I would.
I don't think I would either.
I don't think I would.
Unless it was, like, a happy hour and I had been working there and then, like, it was a bunch of us.
I would feel uncomfortable if they encouraged me to get a drink. And then
no.
if they encouraged me, I'd be like, okay, but only one. I would not be drinking to get drunk.
Yeah,
and I would be doing it because they have encouraged me to do it.
Right.
And it feels like it almost is like, well, if you would be more comfortable with me drinking. Wow.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, this is so stupid. We just saw the movie She Said, and the actress that was playing a journalist, she had wine on the table.
He put wine on the table. She didn't drink it.
I don't think she was drinking it,
because I literally saw that scene and I was remembering. Do you think you would, Emily? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, okay.
It's a very much, I don't know.
It's a very much like in the moment what would happen type of thing. But like, no, I want to say no because like, you know, but you're not at work. Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, you're out. It's an outside of work thing. I'm not saying I would get drunk. I would not get drunk with my coworkers. No. Mm-hmm. But I know like there's been a few times that my current internship, even previous internships I've had, like the coworkers, they all go out together to get like wine or something. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of like a thing. So like I wouldn't be like super opposed to it, but I wouldn't like
do it.
Go
like,
it just to like
actually like. Okay,
I wouldn't go out partying like fist pumping in the air with my coworkers getting drunk.
I fist pump soberly in the air.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's a different story.
Fist pump in the office. That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay, so we have discussed your previous experience, obviously being under 21. Now that you are 21, and first, do you want to come back to DC?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Let's talk about that first. Like, you like your experience. Would you come back to DC?
Yeah, I want to live in DC. I think that the city has provided me with a lot of opportunities already. And I feel very comfortable in the city now after being here. I will say, and they can testify to this, I could not figure out the metro.
Right.
Like, even like the whole time we were in classes, I could not figure out how to do the metro.
She relied on others.
I did rely on others. But now I'm like super comfortable with the city, and I love like all the free events that they have to offer, and just like the networking down here. Like genuinely, I cannot express how like important it is, and like. Honestly, if you want to meet someone, like, all you have to do is really send them an email. Like, people are so open to meeting with you. So, yeah, like, that being said, I would definitely come back to D.C.
Okay, follow-up question to that. Do you think you're going to have a better experience if you came back and you're now 21?
I don't think I'd have a better experience. I would have a more, maybe... college-y experience per se. Sure. I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, like, okay, let's like in Athens.
You'd be a party animal.
Yeah, like I'm not saying party animal, and I'm like I've had so much fun in DC now, but like being 21 would give me more access to like go out with my coworkers and like be able to go to things that are 21 plus. So I guess yeah.
I feel like
in a different aspect.
Yeah, I think like how I would put it, because I'm in the same kind of boat where it's like, oh, I'd love to come back to DC, and like I would be 21 if I come back, because me and Hannah both turn 21 in December right after we leave.
Right.
So we would also be in the same boat, and I think it wouldn't diminish the experience we've had, but it would definitely add to a future experience. It would enhance a future experience to be able to be 20 over, you know, because there's just things you can do.
Right.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why I said no. No, yeah.
No, yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we have.
That was like an hour pause.
No, yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah, no.
And with that being said, thank you so much for listening to Posties in DC. Thank you so much, Emily, for coming on and talking with us.
We have a few more episodes left.
3 more episodes left.
That's crazy. I feel like we just got here.
We're almost at the end.
I know. It's so sad.
Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to stay posted on all future episodes of Posties in DC and all of the Post Athens accounts on social media.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.